clip from Dr. Umar. I ain't even watched the whole thing. I only watched the beginning. But now we're going to watch the whole thing and we're going to react to it.
Now the blackness is a little bit different from the masculinity, though.
Yes, right. That is.
So separate them out.
That is.
But you're saying even in terms of the masculinity, in terms of him being able to assert himself as a man, he felt, or light-skinned brothers can feel that they are sometimes treated like they ain't got enough swag because they're light-skinned.
Absolutely.
I just heard this for the first time a couple months ago, and I never heard it before that. The brothers told me that. I never knew that. That people thought light-skinned guys were weaker soft. Because when I look back in middle school and high school, a lot of the bullies were light-skinned.
Now that's the part that made me chuckle. Because we already know, like a lot of people have been saying it, back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, light-skinned men and mixed-race men ran the black community. We ran shit in the black community. We was the top dogs in the black community. You know what I'm saying? And that statement he just made, once again proves it. Dr. Umar was probably in high school back in the 80s when that shit was going on, when light-skinned men was really running shit. And that's probably part of the reason why he has resentment towards light-skinned men. That's why he came at Sarah Sutton-Seti the way he did. He definitely has something against mixed race and light-skinned men, just like a lot of these black men. A lot of these black men that were in high school and middle school back in the 70s and the 80s, when light-skinned men was running shit, a lot of these dudes still are salty about that shit. They're still salty about some shit that happened all the way back in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? But now the tables done turned. And now the dark-skinned man is running shit. You know what I'm saying?
Now the blackness is a little bit different from the masculinity, though.
Yes, right. That is.
So separate them out.
That is.
But you're saying even in terms of the masculinity, in terms of him being able to assert himself as a man, he felt, or light-skinned brothers can feel that they are sometimes treated like they ain't got enough swag because they're light-skinned.
Absolutely.
I just heard this for the first time a couple months ago, and I never heard it before that. The brothers told me that. I never knew that. That people thought light-skinned guys were weaker soft. Because when I look back in middle school and high school, a lot of the bullies were light-skinned. So I didn't know that the light-skinned brothers felt that they were kind of viewed as soft. I never saw it.
That's a running
but I did hear this.
Yeah.
Now you're a lighter brother. I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Running light skin thing, like you acting light skin.
Yeah,
That's light skin behavior. Yeah.
Okay.
And you get that from women and men.
But that's with the colorism.
Yeah.
I've heard that. But what about your masculinity? Growing up, did you feel that you were viewed as softer or weaker because you were lighter? Do you feel your gangster was tested more because you were light?
Not me specifically.
Yeah, my gangster has definitely been tested more a few times. They definitely like to test me. You know what I'm saying? Majority of the men that I've fought have been black men. It's always a darker skinned black man that I'm fighting with. They always want to test my gangster. You know what I'm saying? They always want to push my buttons. You know what I'm saying? Until you punch them in their face.
Now the blackness is a little bit different from the masculinity, though.
Yes.
More because you were light.
Not me specifically,
but you've seen
it. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Maybe for somebody it's funny because it depends on whose light is.
Let me tell you when it really hit me. I don't know how long y'all been following me, but if you go back to 2016, 2017, me and the good brother Cyrus Sutton-Seti had a beef. Shout out to Cyrus Sutton-Seti. He is RBG, so I respect the brother. And I did my little rant in Detroit with my Phillies hat, my classic Seti rant. And I called him albino because I'm going in on him.
Right.
I don't do light skin supremacy. My father's as light as Seti. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it wasn't about that. I'm just going in on him. And I started getting hit up by all these light skinned Africans. Men, women, elders like Dr. Umar, you got to take that back. You can't say that, because a lot of us struggle. I didn't know. You feel me? Because there was a light-skin privilege in society, I overlooked the fact that although this may count more in the white world, it can be a detriment in the black community. You see that? So I had to check myself on that. So shout out to all my light-skinned folks and apologies to
I don't accept your apology, Umar. I don't accept it, bro. You know what I'm saying? I really don't fully accept your apology. I don't. I just don't, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't. I do not fully accept your apology, bro. I don't accept it. I don't feel like it's genuine. This whole light skin privilege shit, cut it out, man. Cut it out, man, because we get hated on from both sides, man. We get racism from white folks. We get racism from black folks. We got to deal with it from both of y'all. That's not a privilege. That's a burden. That is a major burden. That's not a privilege to have to be stuck in the middle and feel like you don't really fully fit in any community. I don't fit in. I don't fully fit in with any group of people. That's not a privilege. That's not a privilege. That is a burden. That is a burden. See, they won't show you. They'll show you all the times when dark-skinned black men and dark-skinned black people get oppressed by the police, but they'll never show you when a mixed-race person gets oppressed. They'll never show you when a light-skinned person gets oppressed. They barely ever show it. You got to go searching for this shit. You got to search for this shit. They're not just going to find it. They're not going to highlight it. They're going to hide it. But I just want to let y'all know, I do not fully accept your apology, Umar. I don't fully accept it, and I don't feel like it's genuine. No, not at all.